I don't think there's any doubt that this is going to be the best podcast we've ever done.
There's some parts of lean where I think one thing, Brad thinks another thing. Lean starts in the bathroom, and I actually don't agree with that.
I guess we meet in the middle on that one. You can't turn a donkey into a racehorse.
Again, I don't agree with that.
Are we going to be able to edit that when he's talking about my shop like that in front of me? The $1 million question then becomes... All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of On the Shop Floor. Now, you know me, I like to do our podcast on location. And as you can see by the sign in the background, we're in the Lean Made Simple podcast booth. And you get one guess at who I'm sitting with today. I don't think there's any doubt that this is going to be the best podcast we've ever done. We say that at the beginning of all of them. They must just keep getting better. So, I mean, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we have Ryan Tierney here in his own studio. I guess I'm the guest. And today we're gonna knock out some pretty important subjects, I think.
Yeah. Thank you, Brad. Brilliant for you to be here again. This is your second time here now, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And I've seen some changes that have me smiling from ear to ear. Yeah. So good job out there.
Never ends. There's always more, isn't there?
There is.
Yeah.
So super excited to be here. This has been an awesome day to say the least. And I think, we're gonna pull together some good stuff for people today. I don't know if they're ready for two of us to disagree like we do, but here we go.
That's why I'm really looking forward to this, because we decided to do a podcast where we would disagree on some things, because we do. There's some parts of Lean where I think one thing, Brad thinks another thing, and we said, let's just sit down and have a podcast and get it all out live. I think that's the best way to put it.
We've got a referee, so we're good.
Yeah, we've got Shay over here keeping us right.
All right. Well, I mean, without further ado, what do you think?
So obviously you've been doing Lean for 15 years. We've only been doing Lean for 10 years. And there's actually loads of things that we don't agree on, which is okay, but we're going to have it out now on camera in front of everybody.
Let's do it.
We're going to do it live. So something that you said earlier is that Lean starts in the bathroom. And this is like a common thing in the 2-second Lean Made Simple community, that Lean has to start in the bathroom. And I don't actually agree with that. Why do you think that's true?
Okay, so I've got a couple of reasons, and then the first one is, it is the only place everyone has to go. So if you want to evoke some change and you want everybody in the organization to see it, you have two options: the break room or the bathroom. And generally speaking, I think when we say bathroom, we kind of mean common areas, altogether. So having that spot where you have no choice but to go in and use it, and it's the high enough traffic that you're going to get busted if you don't.
Yeah.
It just tends to be, I think, a good place to start. Why do you think you don't have to do it there?
Well, we didn't do that. We didn't start Lean in the bathroom. I didn't really agree with the idea of it. I didn't like the idea of it. We started in a small area in our frame assembly, actually. We created an example area. We painted the floor. We got a perfect workbench. We shadow foamed all the tools. We got a new LED lights. We made this like really, really unbelievable example area. And then we brought the rest of the company to see, this is what we're trying to do. I just didn't like the idea of bringing people into the bathroom and saying, this is what we're trying to do. That's being honest. So, but I think our thinking is the same. It's to have an example area, whether that's the bathroom or a workbench, but it's creating this one, place where you can get really, really good and then bring people to come and see. Are we both kind of saying the same thing?
I mean, that's I would say that's 50% of it from my perception. The other 50% is, it's actually not a test for the people. It's a test for the leader. Mm-hmm. Can you motivate your people to clean toilets? Because if you can't do that, please don't go into the factory and make a huge mess out there, right? Yeah. So it's actually more of a litmus test for the leader. Can I rally my people around something that's not common, that they're not going to be used to, that's going to be a little bit uncomfortable? And if I can do that, well, that's great. You know,
Yeah.
if I can't do that, well, this lean thing's going to be pretty hard, because I would say like 90% of it's motivating people.
Yeah.
So it's a good little litmus test for leadership as well.
Yeah. And I see the point. I just found lean such an overwhelming thing to take into your company, because there was nobody locally doing lean. I had to go to Michael's factory in Germany. I had to go to Japan. I had to go to Paul's factory in America. I had to go around the whole world and try and bring this lean thing back. And that was hard enough without saying, now you have to clean the bathroom.
Right.
But I get your view on it, and I respect that. And I suppose that's the good thing about lean, is that it is a flexible system.
You know, Michael, he's a mentor to both of us, and he said 6 + 3 is 9, 8 + 1 is 9, 7 + 2 is 9. And
Yeah.
so it is. And because as you're talking and as you're saying that, you're like, well, I did that one area. I was like, man, that's a pretty good idea too. Like you don't need to, I think the fundamentals are, you need to make an example. You need to rally your team around a purpose, and perhaps where you start is not the biggest deal.
Yeah.
I mean, you obviously got around to your bathrooms,
We did, yeah.
right? I got around to the shop.
Yeah.
So, I guess we meet in the middle on that one.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds
Very
good.
All right. So, what about people? How do you feel about, what's the word I'm looking for? Retaining. Do you oust people that are not fitting in, or how do you deal with that?
Yeah.
First, what's your opinion on it? And then how do you do it?
My opinion is that we're really proud that we've never had to let somebody go because of lean. We work very slow, very gradual, very considerate, I suppose. It's really, really slow, but it's purposeful. We know where we're going, but we go around it very slow. Like if somebody starts here to work at our company, we don't shove lean down their throat on the first day or the first week or the first month. We almost say nothing.
Really?
Just let them blend into the culture, because the culture is so strong that they will rise because everybody else is doing it. So way back 7 or 8 years ago, we had like an induction program where you had to watch all these videos and you had to read these books and you had to do all this stuff. And people were so overwhelmed by the fact that they were in a new job, never mind having to learn all this weird lean stuff. So it's maybe surprising for people to hear, but we actually go very, very gradual and very slow. We don't say you have to do lean. Where's your improvement? If you don't improve, you're out. We don't have that culture at all. Like the opposite. We almost maybe sometimes give people too much time.
Right.
But I would rather be on that side than be on this hard and fast, do lean or get out, because I know some companies do that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as you're saying that, I'm like digging through my Rolodex of people that we have, and I mean, we've let people go. There's no question about it.
Yeah.
And we've let people go twofold. Okay, so the first one is the one that probably everybody's expecting, which is, I'm thinking of some people that had, we lovingly called them the Star Wars twins, and hey, if you want to play with lightsabers on the weekends and fight each other, that's cool, but they just were not fitting in. They just were not working, and it was a year in. I honestly felt like I had no choice.
Right.
Now maybe that's an excuse. Because I do think that leadership plays probably the biggest role.
Yeah.
So if we have this guy here, and he's working for me and he's working for you in a dual universe, there's a good possibility I'm not good enough to make him good enough. Mm-hmm. And so in that case, I think it's not fair to keep him under my tutelage, which is not good enough to make him rise. Whereas then he can leave my factory and come to yours. Maybe you're a better leader. Maybe you're a better motivator. You're a better people person. and you are going to be able to make that guy rise.
Yeah.
So is it fair? Like, it's good for him that we, and we don't fire anyone, we just set them free. But
yeah,
so I do think that if we were all Anthony Robbins, we probably would never have to let anyone go, because, man, they would come in and be so motivated every morning. It just would never have, and so I have to take responsibility and say, maybe I wasn't the right guy to get those people where they need to be.
Yeah.
And you might have a totally different experience because you're better at that.
Well, I like what you're saying, because if somebody isn't engaging, it's always back on me, back on us. We didn't train them right. We didn't tell them how important this is for our business. We didn't explain why we're doing this. We didn't bring them to that company we visited last week. We should have had that person with us to teach and train them. There's so much that we didn't do.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's actually good. This is maybe a bit counterintuitive, but sometimes it's good when somebody doesn't engage in lean, because it shows you where your weakness is. So if somebody's here 1 month, 6 weeks, 2 months, and they still haven't made a lean improvement, that's actually good, because that's showing that there's a gap in our system somewhere.
And in other news, deep down, we all know how important training is. And let's face it, none of us are doing a very good job of it. Training gets ignored, put off, and then even when we take the time to do it, is the new person 1 getting the same training as new person 2? We can never figure that out. We've come up with a solution to help you systematize your training. At Kaizenify.app, we've got the training matrix. One of the huge benefits to this matrix is it's a visual system. You can see everybody's name down one side and the task down the other, and who's where. And this gets people really excited about learning new tasks. Then, one of the most important parts is safety. We want to make sure that everybody's safe and they're not jumping on equipment they're not qualified to use. Go to Kaizenify.app, get your 60-day free trial, get your training matrix set up today. You sound like Jocko. Good. You're not doing lean improvements? Good.
Good.
Time to re-engage.
Yeah. So it shows where we have to improve.
Right. I mean, and so speaking for us, the other half of the equation, which is a lot less frequent, is, should they be there? And I'll just tell you a quick story. We had a guy, this kid, rock star. I mean, man, he was good. And I brought him into the office one day and I fired him. He's like, what? And I know, because we try and talk to everybody, and we find out what's your dreams, what's your hopes, where do you want to go? And he had, told us he wanted to be a pilot. And he was so good in our factory, we would have kept him forever. And I was just like, I can't do that to you, so you got to go. And I need you to go be a pilot. I don't need you to be a rock star at my factory. I'll keep you forever. And I said, at the time I had a small plane. I said, here's the keys, get as many hours as you want. Do whatever you need to do.
Yeah.
But you better get out of here and be a pilot before I keep you trapped.
And did he do it?
I kid you not, I get goosebumps. 2 years later, I saw a post on Facebook, him with his little girl, I'm going to cry, in a pilot outfit standing beside a plane.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's there's two sides to keeping people, should you and should you?
Yeah.
I've been on both sides.
That's a good example, actually.
I hope that one day that I can be bragging about never letting anybody go because we failed them.
Yeah.
But I think there's more mediocre leaders, or leaders that still have a lot of their own work to do, than there is not.
Yeah.
So what would you say to that guy? Like, you're not that good yet to bring him up. Do you keep him?
It's a good point, but I think something that's important is, and this is maybe surprising for people to hear, that not everybody at Seat Matters is at the same level. when people think seat matters or think lean made simple, they think, oh, those guys have it all figured out. And I'm here to say that we don't. We absolutely don't. There's people, you've got Paddy, who you met today. Yeah. There's Beverly, there's Cody, there's loads of people that are at a like unbelievable level. But there's also people who do their improvement and they're a good person and they do their job, and that's okay.
Yeah.
It's 100% okay. And I think too many companies out there are striving to have a whole workforce full of Paddies.
Right.
And they're driving themselves crazy. And it's actually Chuck from In the Ditch Towing Products that told me about that. Like
2070-10?
Yes.
Yes.
2070-10. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was spending all my time trying to bring every single person up to this really high level, and I was just driving myself crazy.
Yeah.
And you obviously have heard that from Chuck as well, have you?
I have.
Recently, or?
Yeah, just like a month ago we were at In the Ditch, and he laid that out, and we're just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
It's true. It's true. So, okay, so what about this? Because this is one of my favorite sayings lately. And I got to admit, I believe it to be true. So you can't turn a donkey into a racehorse. You just can't. So, like, you can love it. It's cute. It's cuddly. It will never run on a track. So what do you do? Because, we've all had them,
See, again, I don't agree with that. I don't, because there's so much talent and ability locked up inside every person that there's so much. If you actually knew, it would blow your mind.
I can settle this right now. I just had the best idea.
What?
I'm sending you the Star Wars twins. I'm going to send you those two guys for a few months.
There is, but even like speaking for me at my level, if you had seen me 10 years ago, 15 years ago, if somebody had said, you're going to have a podcast, you're going to have a YouTube channel, you're going to be speaking to thousands of people, you're going to be an author, I would have said, no way. And everybody around me would have said, there's no chance. Because there's 4 of us in our house, and I'm the quiet one. I'm the one that doesn't speak. I'm the one that doesn't like going to parties. I'm the one that hides in the background. I'm the one that at meetings, everybody else is speaking except me. So if somebody had said to me, fast forward 10 years, you're going to be doing this, I would have said, no way, absolutely not. Like, I would be the last person. So I'm only speaking for me.
And here you are.
I haven't achieved everything I wanted to yet, but I'm saying if I can do that in my small way, I just look at people in a different light. I see someone in the factory floor and say, someday they could be running this place.
Right.
I do have that hope for people. I absolutely do. And I want to hold on to that. So I don't agree with the donkey racehorse thing. I don't.
well, you haven't swayed me yet, but I do. We were working for this company once, and there was this guy who I actually avoided. I would literally walk around him because he would trap you in and start talking to you, and it was you're just like, how do I get out of here? Do I fake a heart attack? Like, what do I got to do? And then one day he's like, hey, Brad, come here, check this out. And I'm like, oh God, he got me. Drags me into his work center. And this guy's like, by all accounts, he's a couple cans short of a 6-pack for sure.
Yeah.
And he showed me an improvement he made on, and attention woodworking machinery companies, you should build this machine. He had a case clamp, a case anyway, it squishes cabinets together.
Yeah.
And he devised the jig that on the top of the case clamp, it would put the drawers together while you're putting the cabinet together. And I stood there with my jaw hanging open. And then the owner of the company walks over and he looked, and then he looked at me and he's like, did you do that? And I was like, no, Doug. And he looked, Doug? And so now we're both standing there. The plant manager comes over and looks and goes, did you guys do that? We're like, Doug. Mm-hmm. And so to your point, I mean, there is a creative genius in everybody. So if you can squeeze it out of them.
And that's why
1 point, Ryan.
But that's why both of us get so excited about lean, is that it gives people that opportunity to be creative and to use their head, use their skills, think of something that in most workplaces they wouldn't get that opportunity. They just wouldn't. They're told to go to your workbench, go to your desk and do your job and go home again.
Yeah.
But we're the opposite. We're saying go and create something, go and improve, go and see what you can make out of that. And that just starts this thing spinning. Like, so many people have left here to go and start their own business. Why? Because they started with small improvements around their desk, and then they thought of something else. Then they done some work on the side. Then they thought of a business idea, and then it just snowballs. But it all comes back to the tiny things that add up into something big.
Right. Yeah. Okay. You got me. 'Cause but so, I mean, let's face it. We want to avoid the racehorse donkey situation.
Yeah.
We want to avoid letting people go on, because of a skills gap. But what do you think, like, your intake process? This is something that varies wildly from, you're in Ireland, I'm in Canada, someone's in Antigua. Like, we don't know where people are coming from location-wise, cultural-wise.
Mm-hmm.
Like Toyota says, hey, we're hiring. They get 3,000 applicants. So, okay, I'm not shocked that they can say, we never let anyone go, because it takes a year to get a job there. There's testing out the wazoo. They're the best, right? So when I announce that I'm hiring, I get like 3, So it's almost the opposite of, like, our attitude is almost, we don't have the luxury of vetting 3,000 people. So almost like, hire all 3, find the good one, let the other 2 go, carry on. Like, hire fast, because they're going to go get a job somewhere else if you don't, and then figure it out later.
Yeah.
It's opposite. Like, how do you find it here?
Thankfully, we're more like the Toyota example, thankfully. And we have 5 new people starting tomorrow. And I think my brother Jonathan was just telling you, we didn't advertise for any of those roles. So it's all pull versus push.
Right.
So how do you create pull? Well, the way we create pull is to make everything, and I learned this word, not this word, but this concept from Paul Akers: make everything remarkable. Not just good, not just great, make it remarkable. So we make our culture remarkable. We make our facility remarkable. We make our canteen remarkable. We make our onboarding experience remarkable. And how do you know when it's remarkable? It's when people remark about it. So people remark about our culture.
Right.
They just do. We get emails, we get messages on LinkedIn, on Facebook all the time.
Totally.
Have you any jobs? Let me know when there's jobs going. My cousin works there. My friend works there. I've been there for a tour. We'd really love to. It's all pull. People just want to work here because we've created pull. And some of the things that we spoke about earlier in terms of interiors, and there's loads of different things we're doing to create pull.
Mm-hmm.
And the result is very, very low recruitment costs, very low turnover of staff. And it just makes so much sense.
We talked about today, and maybe it'll come up here, but like how we're constantly looking for the shortcut, and the shortcut is hire people. The long road is create somewhere where people want to be.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you've done a great job of. Now I'm thinking in terms of, like, it's one thing for us to sit here and say that, because I mean, you come to my shop, it's pretty cool. You can run robots and you can do all of that stuff. But like 80% of the people listening, this is not their luxury. But I think we're here to tell you, don't try and shortcut that.
Yeah.
Like get the culture right. Get that, and people will want to be there. They will remark about. That's good.
Well, it's the Toyota thing. It's all long-term thinking. And is it easier to bring on a person tomorrow or create a culture which will attract people in the future? Everybody just brings on the person tomorrow because it's easier. But the Toyota teaches us to. It's long-term thinking. It's You can get a win today, yes, but let's think about 5 years' time.
Right. Yeah. I mean, look at what Chuck did, created paradise.
Yeah.
And I just thought, wow, that's so powerful. He just wrote down, hey, everybody, so I went home right away, sent out the slips to everybody, write the 5 things that's going to make your job paradise. And I said, dream big, there's no whole line. So we're getting like gyms and, all this stuff.
Yeah.
But there was a very common theme of about 2 or 3 things. And I looked at the list and I was like, really?
That's easy.
Like now, we picked up the phone and in 3 phone calls, we have a better coffee machine. We have snacks coming, we're putting AC in the building. Like I just didn't know.
Yeah.
So, now that's like, now that we have a thing, it's like, let's create paradise. Let's make it, I like that. Let's make it remarkable. Wow. That's good. Well, while we're on the topic about making things remarkable, what about improving? What about this thing called improvement time? Where you set everybody free to make improvements in their area. What do you think everyone should do it? Do you think, and how long do you think they should do it for?
I've done so many versions of this that where I'm at now is that should everybody improve? Yes. Should everybody improve right away as soon as you start lean? No. I don't believe that. So when we started lean, we thought we were doing the right thing. We said, okay, everybody's got 30 minutes to go and improve your processes, go and make a Stream Deck shortcut for your computer, go and make a place for your drill, go and mark out the floor to make a place for, your trolley or your bin. And what we got was chaos, absolute chaos. What we got was sporadic improvements. What we got was no standard for how we done improvements.
And in other news, if you connect with what you just heard, you are going to want to listen up. You're tired of saying, I told you that yesterday, or you can't hold anyone in your factory accountable to anything. Maybe you tried to do this in Excel already, and the struggle is real. You know the saying, no standards, no Kaizen. We've made it super easy to create SOPs where you need them, when you need them. You can embed QR codes. You've got revision controls. You can embed videos right into your SOPs. And the best part is you can do it all from your phone. If this sounds interesting, head over to kaizenify.app for your free 60-day trial.
So we had to rein it all in again and say, no, stop, we're going to reset. And then we assign people improvement time as they show engagement. So 3 people at a time, now 4, now 5, now 6, to eventually, maybe over the space of a year or even longer, that everybody's improving. Because I see it all the time. And sometimes I haven't got, when people come in tours, they say, okay, good, so we're going to go home and give everybody 30 minutes to improve. And I'm like, no, it's the worst thing you'll ever do, because it'll go downhill and then everybody will have this distaste with the word lean. Mm-hmm. When it's not lean that was the fault, it was the way you went about it. So I always recommend people to start with improvement time with 1 person, then 2, then 3, just like slow, continuous, steady improvements. That's the way we should introduce improvement time. That's my thoughts anyway.
Okay, so then I'm the new guy. So am I, during improvement time, am I going to work, or am I essing, or what am I doing during that improvement time?
For a company that's just starting lean, it's just good work.
Keep working.
Yep. Keep working. Yeah. Start making product.
Because one of the real big struggles we had with setting everybody loose is, this guy would make an improvement. Tomorrow, this guy would take apart his improvement because he didn't think it was an improvement. He's improving his improvement. And we talk about Ono's principles. He's like, well, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm improving what's been improved for further improvement. Yeah. But really, you're just making the other guy angry. So that was a trip to, pump the brakes on getting everybody. And so, I totally agree. We've agreed on something. We've agreed on something. I totally agree that setting people loose, everybody loose, it's a recipe for disaster. Like you think about Toyota. I don't know any company that makes more improvements than Toyota. Do they have everyone in the factory running around making improvements?
No.
It would never happen. No. Not ever. Like not in a million years. So what's the difference? You know, they've got it under control. Like they certainly submit tickets like, hey, I need a wrench and I need it bent like this and and they'll have that thing so fast your head will spin.
Yeah.
But they're not the one leaving the line and going and doing things and, I found a better way to put the liner in. Like, not happening.
So Brad, this is a question that I really wanted to ask you when I found out you were coming here today. And the question is, what frustrates you about implementing lean? Because I don't think people talk enough about that, because it's all on YouTube. It's all the good stuff.
Yeah. It's all
What
unicorns and rainbows.
What really frustrates you? Because it is difficult. Let's just face it. It's not...
lean made difficult.
Lean made difficult. It's simple, but it's not easy, I suppose.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to put it. And I think I've heard another way is like lean is the hardest way to make everything simple. And yeah, so the things that frustrate me the most, well, the biggest one is when you realize it's all your fault. That sucks. Because you have a frustration. Like what I'm going to say right now is my biggest frustration. I immediately know it's also my fault. But, one of the big ones is excuses. I just don't want to hear them, and we're brought up as children, like when something's bad, you get the slap on the hand, right? Mm-hmm. And so it's especially with new people, but they got to come around to realizing that it's a no-fault culture. Like we want you, like I want you to go make a mistake. I want you to experiment. And, so from a new person's perspective, just please understand. And this is, the leader has to communicate this. You're allowed to go do whatever, make a mistake. Just as long as you're learning something, I'm going to be cool with it. Don't cut your arm off, right? But from someone who has been doing lean for a while, my tolerance is lower. Like you're like, hey, what about that? Well, that thing doesn't do the thing, so we don't do the thing. And I just like, grr, you know better. Yeah. Stop giving me excuses.
Yeah, it really frustrates you.
Yeah, excuses are up there. What about you?
What frustrates me? Something that really frustrates me is when people don't act with a sense of urgency. This really, honestly, really gets me. It's just I think it's the way you are as well, and I think that's why we get on so well, because it's just like, right, what are we doing? Let's do it. Like 2 years ago, you said let's do a podcast. Now we're doing a podcast,
right?
So anybody else would have been like, oh yeah, we'll do it sometime, or let's schedule a time. Let's just do it, just do it. And one of the things that really frustrates me is a lack of urgency, because I think where this comes back to is that my father died 10 years ago, and he was 52 when he died. And I'm now 37. I'll be 37 in a few weeks' time. So I'm looking at that saying, right, 37, I might only live to him 52, because I have this mental, whether it's good or bad, I have this figure in my head of 52. And I don't want to get to 52 and think, I didn't do all the stuff I wanted to do.
Right.
So that sent a big shock wave into my brain when he passed away at 52. I thought, I need to make sure that I do everything that I want to do in life. And something happened to me back then, and I just switched on, and I was like, I'm going to go on that holiday. I'm going to buy that car. We're going to do lean, because if you think about what lean is extracting all the waste, extracting all the BS out of a process, but it's also extracting all the waste out of your life.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you work somewhere you don't want to work? Go and get a new job. Why would you work in a business where you're not passionate about the customer or the product? Go and get a new business. Why would we put ourselves through all this? And it really, I'm getting worked up here.
I can tell. I'm like, whoa, all right, wow.
So it really frustrates me when people don't act with a sense of urgency, because they're not respecting time.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not respecting life. And we only get one go at this, and we need to go at it at 100 mile an hour.
Isn't that the truth?
To see all the people we want to see, to go to all the places, to have all the experiences, to meet all the people we've ever wanted to meet. And the only way to get all this stuff packed in to 50 or 60 or 70 years is urgency.
Wow. I mean, which was one of the original Toyota presidents, one of the early on guys that says doing non-value added activity is the equivalent of shortening one's life.
Yep.
And yeah, I mean, and you know, like zoom in even to like the factory floor. Like how often are we okay to wait?
Yeah.
You know, oh, I ordered parts for that machine. Oh, I called that guy. I called the tech.
Yeah.
Where is he? Why isn't he here?
Yeah.
You know, when I had lunch with Mr. Amazawa and Mr. Umamura, you know, and I had this router bit problem, you know, I was making defects and we know we should stop the line, but I couldn't get the router bit for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And so, you know, Mr. Amazawa is like, well, you have to stop the line. And in other news, if that struck a chord about quality, you are going to want to hear about this tool. Are you tired of the same defects rearing their ugly head day after day after day? Are you tired of not getting to the root cause of what's causing your problems? Do you even know how much your defects are costing you? If you do, you're in the same boat as me because we tracked it for a year and we spent over $500,000 on quality issues and we could not get a handle on it. Fortunately, Kaizenify.app has solved this problem for all of us with the new quality tool. This thing is amazing. Right off the bat, as soon as you sign in every day, it gives you your top 3 defects that you should be working on. This allows your team to develop root causes and preventative action. Those 3 items will not go away until you actually solve them. Not only is the system telling you which defects you have, how many there are, what are the top 3, it's also quantifying the cost that each one has. So you can now start allocating budgets to fixing them. This whole tool allows you and your entire team to focus on the big problems that are plaguing your company and not getting down into the weeds playing whack-a-mole or firefighter every day. The data collection at each work center is simple. 3 clicks and that defect gets reported. We have visual graphs to show all of the data that you're going to need. You even have the option to send your team members a text message if your downtime exceeds the threshold you've set up. Imagine having all of this data helping your team drive their improvement efforts. The best part, every penny you save on a defect, that money has absolutely nowhere to go except your bottom line. If this sounds interesting, check us out, Kaizenify.app for your 60-day free trial. But 2 weeks away. He goes, well, did you ask if you could have it tomorrow? Like, they're not going to make me 1 router bit tomorrow. Did you offer them $5,000? No. Oh. Did you offer them 10? No. Oh, so you don't know if you could have it tomorrow. And I'm like shrinking at this point, right? Yeah. I'm just like, oh my God. He's like, did you call anyone else? Did you call another supplier? Did you call someone in Germany? And I'm like, in Germany? He goes, Germany's only 6 hours away. You get on an airplane, you can be back tomorrow with the router bit. And I'm just like shriveling up into nothing, like going, oh my God, we are so lazy. We are lazy, lazy, lazy. We pick up the phone, we're like, and I tell my team all the time, I'm like, when you ask someone for something, you're a piece of paper on their desk. Be the loud one. Because it's a stack, and they're just, there's probably a 95% chance they're not a lean company. Yeah. So you're just another piece of paper, so you be phoning every day. Yeah. Whatever it takes. So yeah, I couldn't be more with you on that one, man. We've had some machines down for like a year and I'm just like, what's going on? We could have drove around the world in this time.
I know. And people come here on tours now to see our factory from all over the world and they think, oh, how did you do it? How did you do it? If there's one thing to sum it all up, it's just urgency.
Yeah. I read the book. I did it.
Yep. Like we were in here on Saturdays, like 6 of us, doing weekends, doing overtime, making labels, setting up a 2-bin system, painting floors, making SOPs. We went at this at 100 mile an hour. We just did. Even yesterday, Paddy in the wood area sent me a WhatsApp. Ryan, I've got an idea for a conveyor system. Okay, let's look at it. I was in the town. I came out. We looked at it. Okay, let's get a bit of paper. You get a measuring tape. Let's measure it up, draw it out, get it cut, get it welded. It's now in powder coating today, and it's going to be finished tomorrow. Urgency. Just get it done.
Yeah. One of the things that we are really good at is rearranging our factory. And I think it's less now because kind of things are, distilling down to where we think they should be. But last year, we revamped our factory 6 times. And when I say revamped, I mean, everybody looks at like CNCs, like, I don't want to move that. Yeah. We did it 6 times. We have 4 CNCs in our factory with our press line and our like robots and assembly. And if I look at it and I'm like, we can increase production by 2% if I just do that. Mm-hmm. I'm like, 2%. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah, we're doing it. When are we doing it? Mm-hmm. Right now. Yeah. That's when we're doing it. And we got so good at moving those machines. We bought a new one and the tech came in to install it. I could only watch them for about 2 hours before I asked them to leave. Mm-hmm. And I was like, listen, I'm not going to say anything to your boss. You just go to the hotel starting now. Tomorrow when you come in, this machine will be ready for you to do the computer setup and get running. And he's like, there's no way that you can, nah. And he's got it's just like, trust me. Yeah. He came in the next morning, the machine was bolted in place, the gates were up, we had it 100% done. Yeah. And so I just encourage people, nothing's permanent, man. Even if it's screwed to the floor, unscrew it, get it done. That job that you're putting off because it's, you're afraid of it. Once you just put 3 good guys on it and dig in, you're an hour away from whatever it is being done.
That's right.
Honestly, unbolt it, get the forklift, put it where you want it.
Yeah, just do it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we agree on that one.
What else frustrates you?
I would say the condition of my factory. So something that I'm guilty of is being jealous. I go to Paul's, I go to Michael's, I come here and I'm like, it's so beautiful. I go to my shop and I just can't put 2 and 2 together as to, one big step forward that we've done in the last probably year is we got a designer pretty much on call. It's a WhatsApp message and we're getting signs made. Yeah. We got a sign shop that we connected with. And so our Kanbans, our SOPs, our signage, we're getting full graphics put on some walls now. It's starting to come together, but it's nothing like here. And it just makes me so angry. I get home and I'm like, why can't I look like Michael and Ryan? It's not fair.
Yeah. So we touched on something today. Do you want to, will we talk about it now?
I mean, listen, I bet you there's more people in my boat, than not. And absolutely, as soon as you said it, my head exploded.
Yeah. So Brad was sharing this with me earlier, and straight away I said, yeah, I know what we need to talk about. And it's this concept of interior design. And we all know, at a general level what that means. We know what interior design is. But I was just telling you, Brad, that all the best lean organizations that we've visited and we watch videos of and we read all the books about, they're so good at interior design. So if you look at FastCap, Paul Akers' company, FastCap, perfect concrete floors, polished concrete. The signage is perfect. There's plants. There's the bathrooms are beautiful. There are marble countertops on the around the sinks. They have fresh flowers every day delivered. There's a big bunch of fresh fruit on the table, a big mahogany table. The interior design is just incredible. If you go to Michael Althoff's factory in Germany, the interior design is just unbelievable. If you come to our factory, Seaton Matters, the interior design is quite good.
It's great. You don't have to. It's amazing.
And if you go to Chuck Elliott in the Ditch Tone Products, interior design. Norm O'Hara in China, interior design. Stefan Hilmer in Germany, interior design. John and Brian McAreevy from Clearhill interior, you should see their interiors. It's just unbelievable. They've just invested money in the interiors, which then creates this place where it's easy to do lean. It's easy to create a vibrant culture when you're working in such a beautiful environment.
And
so you were asking me what's one of the first things we done, or what's one of the first lean improvements? And people are going to be shocked to hear this because I've never said this on video before. The first thing we done was we started with the outside and worked in. So I'll maybe explain what I meant by that. So we started with big pillars and gates and signs at our entrance. Then we done the car park. Then we done an amazing toilet facility. Then a canteen. Then we painted the floors. Then we painted all the walls white. Then we standardized all the signage. And guess what? Then we done lean.
right.
So inside of this environment, it's easy to do lean. But try telling somebody to leave it better than they found it, or to tidy their workstation when there's dust hanging off the roof and cables dangling and the fence outside's a mess. You can't be a remarkable lean company.
Are we going to be able to edit that when he's talking about my shop like that in front of me? Funny story. We literally had a truck back into our fence the other day. Now it's all bent, and you're like, the fence is broken. I'm like, how did he know that? Yeah, that's. I mean, it just doesn't that make so much sense?
But we were talking earlier, and we were kind of saying, why does nobody talk about this? And it's because it's not necessarily lean. It's like, what waste are we reducing? But it's this idea of starting from the outside and working in. Like,
Well, the lean is how much psychological, right?
yeah, psychological. Like it's starting with the structure, like an amazing morning meeting area. Don't start and do it. Well, you can start and do a morning meeting in the whatever room you have. Yes, you can. But on a bigger level, we set up because we knew we were going to do this. Let's have a really good morning meeting area with really nice lighting, really nice TVs, all the signage, the plants in the background. Because when people come here, they're like blown away by the interiors. And when people come here for a job, they're like, this place just looks incredible. It looks like a showroom. Do you actually make stuff here? It looks like like a fake factory.
Yeah.
That's all interior design.
Well, when you go into the break
Then
room
lean.
here, you got like the cost to paint a wall, and the cost to paint a wall and make half of it blue and put some nice decals on it is what, like $100? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, and you look at that, and that's a whole different experience.
Yeah.
So we're all gonna paint the walls, we're all gonna clean up the floors, we're all gonna do it. But the thing we're missing, and some people stumble on it because it's naturally they're good at it, right? Like, look
Yeah.
at Michael's place, go to his house. His shop looks like his house, like he's amazing.
Yeah.
So if you have an eye for design, you get lucky, because you do it. But
Yeah.
for those of us like me, I can't match my socks in the morning. As soon as you said that, I was like, oh my God. We have all the talent, we have all the ability. We're already painting walls. We're just don't know
Yeah.
what color to paint them. I would never think to put a plant in the corner. You know,
Yeah.
like it's stuff like that. But when you
Yeah.
walk through here, there's plants everywhere. It's like, it's just, why has that not surfaced in any lean books?
I know. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
this is how long? 25 years I've been reading about lean. This is the first time today that you put that piece of the puzzle together for me. We had the signs figured out. We had, making our own parts figured out. We had it but it's still a sign in a crappy room just looks a little bit better, but it looks like a sign in a crappy room.
Yeah.
It doesn't make people go, oh, I want to work there. Look at that
Yeah.
sign,
Yeah. That's right.
And interior design.
And it's also alongside interior design, it's this idea of standardization. And when we think of standard, we think, oh, the standard for how we build a product or for how we carry out a process. But our interior design looks good because we've standardized the bracket to hold the spray bottle.
Right.
We've standardized the bins. We've standardized the 2-bin system. They all look, it's all grey pallet racking with a blue front with this size of label. So the standardization makes the interior design so easy, because it's just once you standardize, okay, it's all grey painted floors.
Right.
It's all white walls. It's all light grey architrave and skirting. It's all this type of plant. It's this type of cup. Standardizing the cups in the kitchen. How many canteens do you go to and there's 20 different types of cups?
Every single one.
But then how do you expect people to standardize when all the cups are different?
Right. Yep.
You know?
I mean, it's just, maybe that whole thing is just not sexy enough to make it into a book, because it's not tangible. It's not one of those, but it is one of those things like, here we are taking another shortcut.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to, make our plant look good. Let's start at the tools.
Yeah.
Let's make a shadow board. And I was like, well, maybe we need to back that up.
Yes.
And get people thinking, I want to make a shadow board.
Yeah.
Why? Why do I? Because my tools, they look funny in this place laying around.
Yeah. And we could do a full podcast on standardizing. We should sometime. But when we buy a vacuum cleaner, we say, okay, what's the standard? This is the standard vacuum cleaner we buy. Because then guess what? All the brackets are standardized. The SOP for how to clean the vacuum cleaner is standardized. If we buy a tape measure, okay, we go, okay, what's the standard? This is the type of tape measure we buy because it fits all our brackets. Everybody knows how to use it. We can have a Kanban system set up for it because they're all the same. If we think we need a microwave for our break room, okay, what's the standard? This is the standard because we know how to operate it. It's just the standardization thinking with everything. It's just like, it's a whole podcast on its own.
So why don't we listen? We have Deming been telling us this, that variation is the enemy since 1950 or something like this. I don't know. And yet we just, why is there such a disconnect between, because I'm 100% with you and I'm thinking about the mugs in my break room right now. And I'm like, oh, I think they are different. but I'm 100% with you. And for people that are listening, like, why do we write that off? Like, we're like, oh, those two, Brad and Ryan, talking about mugs, like standardizing the mugs not going to make me any more money. I'm suffering. The mugs aren't solving my problem. When in fact, those mugs might be solving your problem.
Yeah, well, it's that line, how we do anything is how we do everything. If we can get back to your bathroom, actually, at the start, if we can standardize the cups, we can standardize the process, and we can deliver the product to the customer when we said we would. We would standardize how many rings it is before we answer the phone in the office. We standardize the way we order our uniform. We standardize. It's a massive thing, and not enough people are talking about it.
It's the thing you need the most that the most people avoid. Yeah. It's hard. It's hard. And then my favorite, like, we can't standardize. Oh, we're too custom. We're this, we're that. Like, oh God, maybe, but can you standardize your mugs? Can you standardize your microwaves? Can you that is just, that's gold right there.
The printers are office printers. It's all the same printer because guess what? It's all the same ink cartridge.
That's right.
And we can have a Kanban set up for that ink cartridge, which means nobody runs out of ink. We're allowed to print whatever we want, when we want it, and the customer doesn't suffer.
And in other news, if you like what you just heard about Kanbans, you're going to want to stay tuned for this. So if you're struggling in purchasing, or someone's bogged down all day trying to look for things for you, or if you have that one item that you only purchase every once in a while and it's a struggle to find it again every time, all of those struggles can be behind you. Let's set you up a good Kanban system. Kaizenify.app has made it super easy. We can create your Kanban cards in minutes. Now, Kanban's even more powerful when you start color coding. We can embed QR codes to make the purchasing easy, and this is the best way to make sure everything stays organized. No more people walking up and just putting stuff on a random spot on a shelf. You're gonna get a shelf label. So streamline your purchasing with a great Kanban system and stop running out of the things you need when you need them. Check out Kaizenify.app for your 60-day free trial.
So that's standardization. standardization thinking.
The $1 million question then becomes, will this podcast be the end of our lean careers as we know it? Because we just told everybody, if you want to do lean, you need to hire an interior designer first and standardize the mugs in your break room. And we're sitting here, we laugh tongue in cheek, but honestly, you know, I think I think if someone asked me where to start today, my answer would change because of you today. I would say start with an interior designer.
That was incredible. Thank you, Brad. Thanks for coming to see us today. And I think a podcast is a really good way to exchange ideas, you know, because it makes me think, it makes you think, and the value that we're able to share, it's just pure gold.
Yeah, I'm ready to change my flight a day early so I can get home now. After today was a great day. We got to make sure we don't wait 5 years in between visits anymore.
Yeah.
We're getting better with age, you know, and if we wait any longer, we'll both be too good looking to be in the same room.
Thank you.
All right, great day. Thank you very much,
Thanks.
Ryan. Talk to you later.